Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Al Jazeera, Japanese Prime Minister Tsunai Takichi stated that the ongoing oil supply crisis stemming from the United States-Israeli war on Iran and the subsequent shipping disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz is having an enormous impact across the Asia-Pacific region. Speaking in Australia during a visit where both nations signed agreements to enhance cooperation on energy supplies and critical minerals, Takichi highlighted that approximately one-fifth of global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies normally pass through the strait. With 80% destined for Asia, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese echoed concerns about disruptions to liquid fuels. The two close U.S. allies also pledged increased military cooperation, with Australia announcing a $1.3 billion in support for Japanese-involved critical mineral projects and Japan set to provide a $10 billion worth of stealth warships to Australia, reflecting shared regional security concerns, particularly regarding China. Al Jazeera reports that the 22 crew members of the Iranian container ship MV Tuska, which was seized by U.S. forces last month, have been evacuated to Pakistan for repatriation. Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced on Monday that the crew members were flown to Pakistan on Sunday night and will be handed over to Iranian authorities. 6 other passengers, identified by Iranian state media as family members of the crew, were transferred to a regional country last week. The U.S. Central Command confirmed its assistance in the transfer, stating that the ship was intercepted and seized on April 19 for attempting to violate a U.S. naval blockade against Iran. The MV Tuska is part of the Islamic Republic of Iran's shipping lines, IRESL group, which is subject to U.S. sanctions. Pakistan hailed the evacuation as a confidence-building measure and affirmed its commitment to facilitating dialogue and mediation efforts for regional peace and security. NBC News reports that leading Republican lawmakers, Senator Roger Wicker and Representative Mike Rogers, have voiced significant concern regarding President Donald Trump's plan to withdraw 5,000 U.S. troops from NATO ally Germany. The lawmakers, who head the House and Senate Armed Services Committees, issued a joint statement arguing that this decision is detrimental to American interests, weakens deterrence in Europe, and could send a dangerous signal to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump indicated that further troop reductions beyond the initial 5,000 are possible. This move follows critical remarks by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz about the U.S. being humiliated by Iran. European leaders, including Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, condemned the move as a disastrous trend, emphasizing the need for strong transatlantic ties. Democrats also opposed the withdrawal, with Rep. Adam Smith stating it lacks coherent national security policy and violates a defense bill. The Pentagon announced the withdrawal process would take 6 months to a year. According to Shin Yuanet, Iran's main military command, Qatam al-Amdiya Central Headquarters, issued a stern warning on Monday against the U.S. Army entering the Strait of Hormuz. The statement declared that any foreign armed forces, specifically the aggressive U.S. Army, would face attack if they attempted to approach or enter the critical waterway. This warning was issued shortly after the United States announced its intention to begin operations on Monday to free ships reportedly stranded within the strait. Iranian authorities reiterated their long-standing position, emphasizing that the security of the Strait of Hormuz remains exclusively in their hands, and that the safe passage of vessels necessitates coordination with the Iranian armed forces. Al Jazeera reports on a significant desertion crisis affecting both the Russian and Ukrainian armies as soldiers seek ways to escape the ongoing conflict. Oleg, a 24-year-old Russian, believed he was signing up for a security guard position but was allegedly coerced into becoming a drone pilot. Despite a schizophrenia diagnosis that should have barred him from handling weapons, He recounted being beaten by officers and experiencing self-harm due to desperation before successfully fleeing Russia with the help of the group gov't, which has assisted at least 3,000 deserters. The group helps individuals either live off the grid in Russia or escape the country via routes like Belarus to Armenia. The article notes that Russia's mobilization efforts are constantly evolving, exploiting migrants, students, and detainees. On Ukraine's side, the desertion crisis is reportedly even more severe, with Defense Minister Mikhailo Fyodorov stating in January that over 200,000 soldiers have gone AWOL or deserted, and more than 2 million are evading the draft. Soldiers cite mistreatment, bad conditions, and slow rotations. An example provided is the firing of officers from the 14th Special Mechanized Brigade after photos emerged of emaciated soldiers near Kupiansk who had not been rotated for a year and faced starvation. The article also shares the story of a Ukrainian wife whose husband deserted after a friend died on a suicidal mission, fearing he would be next. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.